Okay. Actually,
which
I think we had to restart. Something. Sorry, Sandy. I think we got to restart because I hit record, and then when you got lost, this whole thing came up on the internet, and I didn't catch that it stopped our recording.
oh, that's okay. So do you
I
have to restart it?
because she cut out too, and then yeah. So it's hi, Sandy.
So
How are you?
I'm good. Are we live, Matt?
Yeah, now we are.
Oh, oh, now we are. Okay,
The whole
everybody.
system. We just had a technical difficulty on your end and on this end, and I didn't catch it on this end. I thought it was just you.
Oh, no worries. Well, I am live from the Denver Convention Center here at the Psychedelic Science Conference, representing the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers, of course. And I'm just so excited to be here to learn so that I can bring all the knowledge back and we can hopefully, recruit some more members all around the country so that we can continue to grow our programming and continue to offer these amazing shows like Rise Up Breathwork with Matt. I'm going to do something a little bit unconventional today. I'm going to do the breath work here at the conference center, kind of half hiding under my table. And I'm
Yeah.
just going to kind of show you guys. This is like the very beginning, like day one here. It's not really a lot of people yet. So I've kind of found like a little nook to do this.
Nice.
So I'm
Beautiful.
kind of happy. And yeah, I was saying I really need it because, as everybody knows, Denver is the mile high city. So I've been, struggling a little bit with my breathing in general.
Yeah.
So I think this will be great for me today.
Yeah. So, well, let's just ask you a quick question there, Sandy. With a little bit of adjustment of getting into the altitude, what have you been doing? Like, what have you been doing? Have you been doing anything with your breath, or where are you at with that?
So funny enough, I keep getting woken up by my phone at like 4 or 6 o'clock in the morning because I keep forgetting to silence it. So I actually have been laying in bed doing my breath work, and I've been reading Becoming Supernatural this week. And so I've been actually really focusing on just gratitude and meditation before bed, and definitely doing my breath work at the same time. I've also been walking a ton, like just getting a ton of exercise. I've probably walked like 10 miles since I got here. So.
And have you what particular have you used any particular breath for the altitude, like to help you?
No, I haven't used any
Just in
particular
general.
breath. I was, yeah, just kind of doing the connected breath.
Are you? Does the higher altitude maybe does it fatigue you, or how does it make you feel? Uh,
Yeah, I'm definitely more sensitive to,
okay.
say, like a glass of wine or cannabis. Yeah, I've definitely noticed I'm a little loopier.
Okay. So let's just I'm just going to show you just a quick breath just to reawaken. We've done this before, but it's not something that we do too often. But let's just kind of maybe help you for a moment. Just and this is something good to think about when we change like into like a different environment and to like look into like what could help us. So let's focus for a moment on just dropping in to your breath for a moment and just bring your awareness to your breath. And just kind of tune into the body for a moment and just kind of a little bit of a check in on how you're feeling. And just keep that awareness on your breath and how you're feeling. And, because you're at a higher altitude where there is less oxygen, every once in a while, maybe throughout your day, if you're kind of feeling a little bit fatigued or if you're out for a quick walk um, and you just maybe feel like that, I'm trying to catch my breath. Um, a little something here that we can bring into play is let's over oxygenate and maybe try and bring in as much oxygen as we can to the body. And when we do this, I'm just going to invite you to breathe in through the mouth and nose and to really just get as much in as you can. Trying to breathe maybe into the stomach and then filling and then moving up on the inhale. So like halfway into the stomach on the inhale, up through the ribs and into the chest, and go really deep with that inhale. What I'm going to invite you to do on the exhale is the opposite. So let's just keep it to a 3 or 4 count roughly and have that time of the exhale maybe cut in half from the inhale. Does that make sense to you? Okay. So let's just try this for a moment. And you know, this is good for everyone at home as well too, because this is a breath that you could use instead of saying grabbing for a cup of coffee. Like, I enjoy that 1 cup of coffee in the morning, but I kind of cut it at that. And so if I need energy or feel a little worn down, this is the breath I'm going to use. So just so at home, in case you're not familiar, let's just see what it looks like. So I'm going to breathe mouth, nose, really deep into the stomach, up, fill up the whole lungs, and then kind of a quicker exhale. Let's do that 3 more times. And now just drop into how the body's feeling for a moment. That exhale is really more of probably of a 2 count. You just have to have that awareness of how you're inhaling versus your exhale. And how's that feeling for you? Any change within the body or?
Yeah, I feel super activated. Like my fingers are kind of tingly. My lips get kind of tingly.
Yeah. Now you can play around with this breath too, you know, in many ways. We can take a very slow, subtle breath, like I was doing, a little bit more aggressive or assertive. So we can do it in a gentle fashion and really slow the breath down, really slow with it. It doesn't have to be so like I'm sucking in as much as I can, like in 2 seconds. Like, you know, it can be super gentle on the exhale. And that's part of the beauty of breath, is just finding what works for you in whatever particular situation you find yourself in while you're out there this week. So I hope this is helpful to you, something to think about, just to bring that awareness as you are enjoying a different city. Maybe, hopefully you get out and maybe get to take a nice drive and go up into the mountains a little bit and get out of Denver, hopefully. And
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The next 3 days, I'm going to be inside like all day. You know what I mean? Because of the conference.
yeah,
So come Saturday, we're trying to manifest a pool situation at the very least.
beautiful.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, right now I'm just taking it day by day. You know what I mean? I have some friends to meet up with and
Yeah.
kind of see what they want to do and stuff like that. It's actually really nice not to have a plan sometimes
Mm.
for me. You know, just been
Just,
going with the flow.
yeah,
I'm
just
gonna go check out Plant City today, which is like a plant-based cafe, but I guess they have like a marketplace set up over there too, with all
okay.
kinds of different entrepreneurs and healers and vendors and whatever. So yeah, I'll be exploring. I'm always exploring
There you go.
something. But yeah, but out here, yeah, I've had a great time so far. I explored an amazing couple of restaurants. That was on my priority list. Is I'm trying to fatten up.
Love it. Well, enjoy your visit, and I hope that this breath works, and just kind of keep it in your little book of tools to pull out, and hopefully it helps you a little bit. And
Thank you. And I am gonna listen in on the rest of the podcast. I am just gonna shut the camera off
yeah,
because there's like a lot of background noise and stuff.
yeah, I'll kind of
All
cut you off. So yeah,
right.
enjoy
Thank you, Matt.
seeing you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, apologies for that technical confusion in the beginning, if anyone was kind of on and off. So I'm just going to invite you at this time. Let's just drop into our breath and just breathe in any manner that suits you right now. Mouth, nose, just nose, whatever works for you. Find your breath. Track the breath and just kind of drop into the breath, allowing for this to bring you into this moment right now. As we bring awareness to the chair or the ground that we lay upon, bring awareness to any sounds around you, and just allowing for all of this to kind of just come into as one, and just allowing it to be sensations of touch, maybe to help drop you into the body a little bit deeper, mold it together, Sound, anything that's coming from sound, we can think of as a vibration, and just kind of breathe that in without any identification of what the sound is. And just bring that awareness, keep that awareness to the breath, allowing for the forehead to soften. Just really feel your forehead soften. And then as the forehead is softening and melting, just to kind of allow for that to slowly trickle down to the eyebrows. Feel them kind of sink and fall, trickling down to the eyes and feeling a really softening around the eyes. So focus around your eyes. And as we breathe into the sensation and relaxation around your eye, I invite you to maybe go into the eye, maybe behind it, around the eye. Just go a little bit deeper with the eye for a moment, allowing it to soften, to relax. As we trickle down to your cheekbones, really just feel the softening of the skin into the bone, into the muscles around the cheeks, the jawline. Maybe breathe it out. Maybe move the jaw around a little bit. Recently I've been blowing bubbles on each cheek. And feel a softening of your tongue. Maybe move the tongue around a little bit if you feel it. Maybe stick your tongue out at someone if you want. And as the face is completely softened now, let's just allow for that waterfall just to trickle down into the throat. Maybe sit up a little bit taller, straighten out the neck, and just feel the relaxations begin to take over the front of the throat, the sides, the back. You can maybe let the head drop or add some circles in if you need to shift an energy around. And then allowing for the softness within you to trickle down to the collarbone, your shoulders. Allowing for the shoulders to drop. And just allowing for all this relaxation to stay in place with the head and everything coming down. As it just goes deeper and deeper into relaxation. Trickling down the arms. Maybe dropping the arms down or placing palms up. And just feel that flow of relaxation going down the tricep, the bicep. Relaxing into the elbow and the forearms. Into the wrist and your hands and your fingers. If you need to move again or shake, and then allow for it to settle into a deeper sensation of relaxation. And now breathing into the heart space. Feel a softening within the chest cavity. To feel a softening around the heart. To feel the expansion of the energy expanding out through the cavity up to the shoulders, up to the crown, maybe even down to the feet. As this heart area softens and the spine softens, maybe just feel the spine just relax. Release all the tension. As we bring our awareness now to the rib cage, and how are we breathing? How are the ribs feeling? What are they doing as they soften into your breath? Allow for the ribs just to melt and just to be the breath. Just feel how it works. Dropping into the sensation, the softening of the ribs. You can add side to side movement too, helps here, or back and forth. Just listen to the body, and if it's telling you to just shift or move for a moment, do so, then followed by just dropping in as we tune into our stomach. Breathing into that stomach, allowing for it to soften. Maybe to feel a softening around all the organs. Maybe to feel a softening around the lower part of your spine, down to the tailbone. Maybe to trickle down into the hips and the buttocks. And just really take a moment here and just feel a softening here. Breathing in that softness. Being gentle and kind. Supportive as it softens and relaxes. And allowing for this waterfall to continue to the front of your legs and to the back of your legs. Feel all the muscles and the tissues just really begin to melt and drop away. As we trickle down to the knees. And down to your shins and calves. Your ankles, feel softening, maybe roll the ankles a little bit. With the feet, if you have shoes on, I'm just going to invite you just to kick them off. Because it's important to remember that the rubber on our shoes actually prevents us from grounding. Like you can't ground through rubber. And then maybe just place the bottoms of your feet on the floor for a moment as we begin to feel a softening at the bottom of your foot, a softening on top of your foot, and maybe a softening within your toes. And at this time, I'm just going to invite you to now breathe with the body as a whole, this whole being of yours, which is now in this relaxed, calm state of just being present right here, being with yourself right now, and just feel into the softness throughout your whole body. And as you're feeling the softness, I'm just going to invite you to breathe in through the nose now. bringing your awareness to the breath and exhaling out through the mouth. Let's take a few breaths here. Just bringing that attention, that awareness to your breath, staying with the breath. And let's do a quick hold. So on 3, we're going to do a large inhale, sorry. So 3, 2, 1, big inhale, draw it all the way in up to the crown and hold. Hold it as long as you can, and on that exhale, be a little bit more aggressive with the exhale, and just I want to invite you just to push all the air out, let everything drain out, and then just drop back into your normal breath. And then just to sit here for a moment and enjoy this. And as we're in this state, lately I've been talking a lot about the heart. And sometimes when we're traveling down this road of what is it that we're traveling down? What are we reaching for? We talk about this, the wellness and be mindful and what does that mean to you? Just breathe into that. Like, what does this mean into you? And then we have that triangle that we always talk about of the mind, body, and spirit, right? What does all this mean to you? Just breathe into it for a moment. And as we think about this, like this mindfulness, like honest question here, and just breathe into this question for a moment and just let it arise within you. Don't try to answer it right away. Do you feel as though you truly embody what they're saying here with the mind, the body, and spirit? And that's a tough one. I would say that for most of us, probably not, to be honest. I feel like for me and for many of along the pathway, it's been more just like what suits me. Like, oh, I'm okay with this or whatever. And we're kind of picky or choosy. And then even how many times, say, within the last week, have you felt as though you wish you could take something back or a word back or an action back? And just breathe into that for a moment. And how much are we still really reaching outside of us? Like, maybe we're sober, maybe we're this, maybe we're that thing, maybe we're this. But have we replaced certain habits with other habits? Are we on our phone too much? Are we scrolling too much? Are we still reaching out? Are we maybe using other substances too much? Like, are we, oh, I've done this, but am I really doing the work? Am I really being mindful of self and others? Am I really beginning to take this practice in? And maybe maybe with the scrolling, maybe you're scrolling everything that's super beautiful and positive. Maybe we're listening to a lot of podcasts. Maybe it's just time to stop sometimes. And so maybe to look at how we're doing this stuff and maybe start to figure out, are we practicing what we're hearing or listening to? Mind, body, spirit, are we trying to really practice it, or are we just bringing it up situationally? And with that mind, body, spirit, I almost like there's a part of me that's like, we need to do a lot of work before we even get to that. I really feel like we're missing out on the wisdom body. So when I say the wisdom body, what's your first thought? What comes to you? Where does the wisdom body come from? Breathe into that for a moment. Where is that coming from? Is it coming from our knowledge within the mind? We're controlling? Do we feel like we're able to create that space, that gap with the mind, so that the correct wisdom is coming through? For me, it's going to be a no. As I'm moving into this practice, the wisdom, the wisdom of the body, and how I am mindful, how I act, how I speak, how I love, how I am considerate, patient with self and others, receiving messages, and understanding the moments and what they're bringing you. So for me, the wisdom body is the heart energy. This is the true wisdom body, to be guided through the heart with our moments, not the mind. Oh, I need to be nice right now. I need to say these words. We don't need to think it. It's all right here. When we feel into the heart and breathe into this space and become this energy, this is truly, for me, this is the wisdom body. The mind, is simply just a tool for the heart. But when we can come from the heart, and for me lately, like when I can really come from this space, I don't need to think about how I'm acting or speaking. It just, it just comes. It's kind of weird. Like, I've always enjoyed writing, but I've never really been like a good writer. Or, I mean, just like an okay writer or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But I feel like lately, like when I can really come from this space, it's like I was writing something this morning, and then I just went back and looked at it. I was like, wow. I was like, that was really worded pretty cool. And it's just really, I'm just dropping into this space of the heart, allowing for my actions or my thoughts or what I'm doing to come from this space of the heart. And so for me, I think we need to almost relook at that triangle and add in and make it almost like a square and start by really discovering this relationship with this heart energy. So let's just breathe into our hearts for a moment and just feel your heart maybe soften a little bit deeper. Breathing in through the mouth. Again, just maybe imagine there's a nose and a mouth in the heart. And just allow for the heart to breathe. Breathe for you. Just drop into that heart. Because I just really feel that as if we can really drop in here, then our original triangle of the body and the mind and the spirit, like it's all so important. But what's our starting point? I just really just feel it. It's like it's right here. This is where we should start. Like this is so beautiful and so it can help guide us through so much. And when stuff is coming up and like a little bit of anger or frustration is arising, maybe you're doing something that's just driving you effing crazy lately, and it's just these short little like annoyances that are arising. And if we can start from the heart and come from this place, and then allowing for the mind to like it just comes out verbally, and we don't even really have to think much. Maybe it's just very light thinking. And then our body relaxes and we don't go into that triggered state within the body. When we start with the heart, then the body's maybe a little bit more relaxed and maybe not so eager to trigger. And it might help a little bit with that connection with maybe, whatever it is that you believe in, maybe just a connection to an infinite field of wisdom that's out there that can just flow through the heart. And maybe sometimes we just don't know where the answers come from, and we're just like, wow, that's just like, yeah, that's it. And we don't even know where that came from, that intuitive spot. Allowing for the heart to come from that place of love. So lately for myself, it's starting to remember that maybe home is really the heart. And the more I can start to come from this space and then bring everything else in, it's just, I feel for myself that I have a different level of acceptance for situations. It doesn't matter if it's like a little bit of frustration that's arising within me, or maybe it's just like it has to do with coworkers or relationships or loved ones, and maybe stepping away from that tension, that anxiety that can arise with others, and just come at everyone from the space of the heart, and just knowing that it's all okay when we come from the space. And to not put a timetable on anything, just allow for the creation to unfold on its own. Because I think, too, we try to put so much time on everything. So let it unfold, let everything just unfold from this beautiful space. Staying focused on that breath, bringing it into the heart, and just really feeling that energy within, the softening, the expansion. And lightly within that triangle, like with the mind, in my mind it's now a square. But what if we even add like a fifth element? And I feel like it's linked to the mind, but I feel like it almost deserves like its own place. Because it's just that powerful. And that's just like emotions, like our emotions. Like I feel like the heart, our emotions deserve so much attention that it's almost separate from the mind and all the chatter within the mind. Because the emotions, like, for males, we're told to stuff it and to not feel it. And for some women, that may be true. Who knows? It doesn't really matter. To me, it doesn't matter. It's like we all have our story. We all have where we've gone. And so if we're stuffing those emotions and maybe, this is linked to shadows and the different children, but it could be linked to different closets that we have or different rooms within us that we just have the doors shut and chained shut because we're not allowed to express or show these emotions. And I feel like it really needs, like for me, it was a lot of tremendous amounts of work, and it still is. And then and then the emotions build up, right? And it's almost like like the shadows creeping up on you. And do we have awareness within the body that the shadows are rising, and slowly? And for me, it's not the shadow coming from here; it's coming from inside within me, dealing with whatever emotion. It's just slowly kind of creeping in like a volcano, trying to get ready to erupt. It might take a few days. Another side of emotions too is like we become super duper emotional about everything. Like the flip side of having all that closet space. And sometimes, like, I know in my journey, like, because I have both. I don't have just one, it's both. And if I'm becoming super emotional about something, I just don't think right at all. I don't make rational decisions. It's decisions based on this, like, overpowering emotion that's just so strong within my body of happiness or sadness or excitement or whatever it is, or a belief, something that we think that we believe in or whatever. And so for me, I'm going to start creating like this other circle, maybe, of things to pinpoint where we have this circle and it starts with the heart. And then it maybe moves to emotions. And then we get into that body and the mind and the spirit. Because what is it? What are we reaching for? Are we reaching to be picky or to do it along the how I want to do it? This is okay. This is okay. Are we really like I don't know. So let's just breathe into the heart for a moment and just really feel that space for a second. So maybe place your hand on your heart, just deepen that sensation of it. So the question for myself, and I'll just place this on others, is can I lead from here? Drop into here first and lead from this heart space. And then from there to do whatever it is I have to do, whatever that thing is for you, whatever it is, whatever that moment is offering. But with that moment, can I come from this space? So I just invite you for a moment just to imagine leading yourself can you lead yourself from this space? So maybe put yourself in a situation in the last 24 hours where maybe you didn't come from the heart. So maybe if you can just line something up within the last day or week, and just see yourself for a moment, just seeing yourself, what really happened. Just take a quick peek at it. We don't need to relive it. Just have the awareness of how you were, and then just feel that in the body, and staying in attune with the breath. Now, imagine yourself, I just invite you for a moment to let it all go. Fall into the heart energy for a moment, and to become a leader from this energy, to lead yourself to come from this space. And just for a moment, imagine this situation again coming to you, and then imagine what it would feel like, maybe the words you might use, the actions, the facial expressions, whatever, body language, all of it. Imagine yourself leading yourself from the heart. How would that have changed that situation? Just breathe into that for a moment. And just let it rise. Just let it rise up naturally. Don't think about it. Just let it rise. How you would lead from the heart. How would that happen? And now I just invite you to do another breath hold. So let's just breathe nice and deep in through the nose, bringing all the energy and all the awareness from the heart and everywhere in the body up to the crown. Hold. And when you exhale, I'm just going to really invite you just to push all the energy. I'm going to invite you to blow. And when you blow, to really blow it all around you, to move your head right and left, and really just blow all this beautiful energy all around you, and fill the space all around you. And then just drop into how that feels. And just feel that. Just breathe into that for a moment. And then just and now just gently bring yourself slowly back. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Begin to blink your eyes, move your mouth, fill your mouth full of air, let the cheeks open up and become wider. Bringing your awareness back to the ground or the chair that you're sitting or laying upon. Bringing yourself back to the safe space that you are in. Bringing yourself back to the feeling of being safe with your breath, being safe with your voice, maybe even trusting the heart a little bit more and just allowing it to guide us and open us up a little bit deeper as we begin to wiggle and move our head, slowly bringing light back into the space around you. Yeah. And I hope everyone's feeling good out there. I see you're still with us, Sandy. I don't know if you want to add any comments or anything like that. How are you feeling from that?
I'm feeling awesome. I have to say, it's the first time I've ever hidden under a table to breathe.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not. It's the second time because we did it at the mushroom, the Portland sound healing. Now that I think about it, I was kind of half under a table. But first time I've done breath work under the table. And it's actually really funny because like at one point you were like, oh, just like let all the sounds around you just become
Yeah.
like one or nothing or whatever. And there's so many like interesting like hums and dings and tings and dongs and like I just started getting tingles like all through my body just about how like connected everyone is here and like just the idea that we're all here for the same or similar hopefully intentions, and then that idea of just connecting with people via my heart the whole time I'm here is just going to be my intention. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, you left your camera on so I could see the darkness. I could see like a little light pop through. It was pretty funny. Like, there's the cave.
Yep, I found a little cozy den.
Yeah, that was
Leave
pretty
it to
funny.
me. All right, Matt. Well, hopefully all of that oxygen will help me have the mental capacity to set this booth up because it's probably going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I'll do the breath work when I get frustrated or if I get frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah, and just try to bring the and I'm gonna look something else up too, and if I find anything in particular, I'll just kind of shoot it to you in a text, so you can read or see a video on it. But by this much inhale, this much exhale, it will help though for sure. So
Yep,
have
I'm
a
going to
beautiful
practice.
journey, and I
Thank
just want to let everyone else out there know that this Friday night's group, I believe Anna is going to be performing her magic. So come on down, 7 o'clock at the church, and look forward to seeing everyone Friday night. Let's have a nice big group for Anna and that magic that she brings to us. So, and yeah, we'll see you next week, and be safe and make a whole bunch of beautiful connections, and look forward to hearing about it.